Today's video, we're going to do a side-by-side of 2.5 .308 caliber precision rifles. We're going to look at the Savage 110 Precision, we're going to look at the Ruger Precision Rifle, and then we're going to look at a rifle that looks like it fits in this family, but honestly does not. And that's the 6 Hour Cross 308. I generally use the Winchester Super X and the Federal PowerShock 150 grain hunting bullets because when I started in precision rifle, I didn't know there was a difference between matchet ammo and hunting ammo, and even premium hunting ammo. But these both shoot, generally speaking, about a 1 MOA group. Now, I'd be perfectly happy to consider myself an MOA shooter. I don't need the smallest groups in the world. I just want to be a consistent MOA shooter. So about 1 inch per 100 yards. So if I can shoot a 1 inch group at 100 yards and a 4 inch group at 400 yards, I'm perfectly happy with that. Especially if I can do that in more positions than just the prone. So the ammo that I'm currently using is just fine, but I figured I would see what actual match ammo does out of these precision rifles. I believe it was Jim over at Backfire that was talking about Hornady Black, how it's an entry-level price, but actually offers great performance. So we're gonna give that a try as well. So if you're asking yourself, who is this video for? Let me try to help you. If you're someone that's just getting into shooting, or you're interested in long-range shooting, or you're just starting out in rifle competitions, then you're just like me. I'm someone who's been shooting for a couple years. I'm interested in long-range shooting. I'm just getting into long-range shooting. I'm interested in the competitions, and I've gone out and wasted a bunch of money on rifles and optics and tripods and bipods and everything else. So I'm here to share with you my personal experience and opinions. I am by no means an F-class shooter or a PRS champion or any of that kind of stuff. You're looking for Eric Cortina, Long Range with the Lilies, Ultimate Reloader, F-class John, Impact Shooting. You're looking for those kind of channels if you're looking to learn from champions. I am growing up with you right now, and that's what my channel is about. Buying stuff, learning stuff, making mistakes, learning from the mistakes, and hopefully you learn from them as well. So if you're thinking about buying a $1,500 to $2,000 or somewhere in that price range precision rifle or long range rifle, then this might help you make one of those decisions. All right, so we're gonna go through this and do a course of fire with each of the rifles. We'll start with the Ruger Precision Rifle. We'll start up in the upper left-hand corner. Each group will work our way across the top row. We'll move down to the left to the second row, left to right again. We'll do the full course of fire with the Ruger, then the full course of fire with the Savage 110. And when we're done, the same ammunition will be in the same groupings on both targets. We're gonna go in order of price from cheapest to most expensive. First up is the good old standard Federal PowerShock. I've had good results with this in the past, especially for 30 bucks a box when I was buying it. And I forgot that on this rifle, the Cabela's scope uses a lock ring around the diopter for the eye relief adjustment. I can't get either the Tacticam or the trigger cam to fit over the eyepiece of the scope. So while we're using the Ruger, there will be no scope cameras. I pulled that one left. All right, well, we were working on about a 1.5 inch group, but now that's looking more like 2.5 to 3 inches. I pulled that last shot pretty bad. All right, next up, and this will be the top center target, is the Winchester Super X. This generally sold for a couple dollars more than the Federal. So I think I was getting the Federal at like $29 and this was like $32. But again, that was a couple years ago when I was buying this ammo. Yeah, that group is probably about an inch wide. Maybe an inch and a half tall. Next, we're going to try these Hornady Black 168 grain AMAX. All right, next up is the Hornady Match 168 grain ELD. Well, last up for the Ruger is the Hornady Superformance 168 grain ELDs. Going way low. All right, here we have the Savage 110 Precision Rifle. Oh no. I was on the other target, I think. Silly goose, tricks are for kids. Alright, I'm pretty sure that I was on the other target for that shot, so I'm going to throw one more in there. Oh, that looks better. Just about a ½ mil low. Lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we should actually be in the target this time, or very close to it. Or high. I'm not sure if we've been recording so far. Oh, that looks like a pretty decent group. Not a bad group. It's another chilly morning out in Capitol State Forest. Yesterday I was out here shooting groups at 100 yards with both the Ruger and the Savage 110 precision rifles. I shot anywhere from a 2.410 to a 0.750 inch group. The Hornady Black 168 grain AMAX was the best group on both rifles, at 1.269 inches on the Ruger and 0.750 on the Savage. The only other group that I shot below 1 inch was the Hornady Match, which was at 0.950 inches. I did several things wrong behind and on the rifle yesterday, and I want to see if I can make those corrections today and improve these groups. This won't be an exact retest. Today we're going to be shooting from 200 yards, and I'm hoping to get smaller groups today than I did yesterday at twice the distance. One of the first issues I had yesterday was I was testing out this new airfoil adjustable rear shooting bag. After every shot yesterday, I had to reposition the rifle and either add more air or reduce air, and I wasn't keeping a steady sight picture with the adjustable rear bag. Also, it's probably a little low for me, so instead of shouldering the rifle and getting a steady position and then supporting that position with the bag, I was resting the rifle on the bag and coming down to the rifle. So I was adjusting to the rifle instead of the rifle adjusting to me. One of the things I noticed yesterday was as I was taking a shot, the crosshair was kind of circling around within the target. And as long as it was fairly steady and in the target, I would pull the trigger. After spending 20 years in the Army, firing M16 and M4s, that is not the same as precision rifle, and I need to break that habit. Precision rifle is a much more steady position, and I need to be able to build a position where my rifle isn't having movement within the circle. So today I'm going to work on building a more steady position and adjust the rifle and the sight to me instead of trying to position my body onto a sight picture in the rifle. One of the issues I have is that I replaced the stock of this rifle with a Magpul PRS Gen 3. Though this stock is adjustable, it's not adjustable on the fly. It requires manual adjustment and a wrench in order to raise and lower the cheek height, and then it requires disassembling the stock and adding or removing spacers to get a general length of pull adjustment. This Magpul stock is adjustable just with the spin of a wheel for both the length of pull and the comb riser. The problem I had yesterday is even with this cheek riser all the way up, I am too low to get an accurate sight picture, and I'm lifting my head just a little bit every shot, trying to maintain the same position as last time. So one of the first things we're going to do is add this CDS Tactical cheek riser cushion. Now that feels a lot better and I'm not hovering my head, lightly touching the cheek riser, trying to get an accurate shot while steadying my 10-pound head. All right, I'm gonna head over to the shooting mat and we're gonna work on adjusting the optic now to my eye and shooting position. So one of the things with this bag yesterday, I wasn't able to bring the rifle into my shoulder, get a good support on it, and load the bipod. I was simply resting behind and hoping I didn't scope myself every time I pulled the trigger. So a fully supported prone position starts with 3 points of contact. 1, 2, or you consider that a point of contact by using the bipod, or a sandbag would also be 1 point of contact. But for this scenario, we're gonna go with 1, 2, and 3. You're gonna add 4 more points of contact to your rifle. Right now, the rifle is fully supported and extremely steady. You want to add supports to the rifle without adding unnecessary movement to the rifle. So, 4th point of contact, 5th point of contact, 6th point of contact, and 7th point of contact. So now that you are part of your rifle, you need to make sure that you aren't doing this, trying to keep yourself steady on the rifle. So as you can see for me, the sandbag isn't helping. So yesterday I was coming down to the sandbag, getting my arms way chicken winged out, and then lowering myself to it, and I don't have any support really in my shoulder. So every time I pulled the trigger, I was just hoping I wasn't gonna scope myself since I wasn't supported enough. So now I wanna make sure that my eye relief and diopter are set up well for me. And I've got company. Okay, so I am gonna aim at the skyline, if I can get there. So to verify my eye relief, my bolt is out, magazine is out, the weapon is completely unloaded. I am not aimed in a safe direction, just want to put that out there. But I'm aiming up into the skyline, into a whitish blue background. I'm gonna take up a position on my rifle with my eyes closed. When I open, I want to verify that the reticle is crystal clear. And personally, I like to be on max zoom so that I can see the numbers as clearly as possible to see if they're defined. Okay, that's about 10 repetitions of blinking and checking. So I feel good about that. So at this distance here, I have a nice sight picture, but I don't have a lot of support in my shoulder yet. So I want to adjust my length of pull back. So if I put my shoulder in, put my head where I think my natural position is, and drop my head, push forward and load the bipod. That feels like a good position. And when you're checking for your eye relief and your length of pull, you definitely want the magnification all the way up. The further out you're zoomed, the easier it is to get a sight picture. As you zoom in, the walls will start to close in around the outside of the scope. I'll be shooting at a 200-yard target, so now I want to adjust my parallax. If I'm locked on the target, if I move my head up and down, I don't want to see the reticle moving around. Okay, so as I move my head around, the reticle is not bouncing around inside the scope, shifting the sight picture as you move. So now that I have the cheek height and the length of pull adjusted for a natural and consistent cheek weld, I have the eye relief adjusted to me, and I have the parallax adjusted accurately. Now it's time to start working on the best system for holding steady. So now I'll go ahead and remount the Tacticam. So I have basically brought out every shooting bag rest that I have, and we're gonna try them and see what feels most comfortable and natural and steady. I keep trying them, they don't feel natural. I can't get a comfortable position behind them. They're too tall, they're too short. So I thought that this was the perfect answer, but so far it has proven otherwise. So with this, I don't have any support right here. I'm unsteady and my face is coming too far forward. So I'm having to lean back, and now I don't have the support of my shoulder on this. What about this? So here I can get a good steady position on my shoulder, but the bag height itself is too high. I'd have to max out my tripods. This is too high. What about here? Still too high. This is generally a front bag. However, it is very versatile. So there's some shake induced there as well. Now you have combinations of bags trying to get the right height. A little shake on that one. Trying a combination on here. So it's not horrible. Okay, what about this one? So I think I'll keep these two bags out on top of the airfoil, and I'm gonna put all the rest of this stuff away. Once again, we're gonna start out with the Federal Power Shock. This is at 200 yards. Okay, I am nice and straight behind the rifle. Rifle is in my shoulder pocket, loading on the tripod. Alright, we're just going to shoot 2 groups. So what I want to do is I want to get right on, and I can manage just little bits of movement with smaller squeezes instead of forcing a bunch of muscle squeeze into this top bag. Okay, take up the slack of the trigger. Hold on. I had some 4-wheelers come by, so I wanted to be completely unloaded and step away so that there's no issues. Okay, shoulder, load the tripod, level the rifle. Oh, come on. Rest your eye for a second. Start to strain. So that is a huge group. The outer circle is about 2 inches, which puts you at nearly 4 inches. So you're still shooting about 2 MOA there. Next, we're going to go with the Super X. Okay. Load the bipod, support the back of the rifle. Whoa. That's way the heck down there. I was so happy with that first shot. Huh. Okay, so 2 and 4. I don't even see a hit. Well, that's about a 5-inch group, I would imagine. So one other thing that I'm wondering is on the very first shot this morning, I scoped myself pretty good with the Tacticam. So I wonder if I'm flinching and anticipating. I'm going to take the Tacticam off and shoot one more group. All right, well, now that I have removed the fear of being punched in the face with a metal object, I'm going to try one last grouping and see if it was just trigger anxiety that was opening those groups up. As you can see through the trigger cam, yes, there was a little bit of unsteadiness in the rifle, but every time I pulled the trigger, I was still in that black circle. So I should have grouped somewhere close. I think what's happening is there wasn't enough support on the rifle, allowing recoil to go all over the place. All right, securing my shoulder, load the bipod. Nope. All right, so I don't know what my problem is. I didn't think that I was a 2 MOA shooter, but I'm starting to look like one. That's a 5.238 inch group. Yesterday was a 2.4, I believe. So, similar. Now, I'd love to blame it on the ammo and say either the ammo isn't high enough quality or the gun just doesn't like that ammo. But I'll go home and find some targets. Within the last year and a half or so, I have shot thumb-sized groups out of that rifle prior to taking the scope off and putting it back on. Those groups started to open up a little bit and then realized that the mounting base had come loose from the top of the rifle. So took everything apart, retightened the mounting base, put the scope back on, and now I'm not shooting those groups other than with that Hornady. But I used to always shoot those groups prior to the scope loosening up. Same thing with the Ruger Precision Rifle. It's always shot at about or around 1 MOA. Little under, little over. So overall, I did not shoot great the last 2 days. I'd love to hear your comments down below on what you see that I'm doing wrong. I think I came up with a solution. We're just gonna fire 2 groups in the Savage 110 Precision Rifle today to see if I figured out what the issue was. I also moved the scope forward 1 slot on the Picatinny rail. So I'm gonna shoot 4-siders to warm up. I'm gonna shoot a group and then move my 0 and shoot a final group, and that's it for the day. Okay, so that grouping is not terrible. And I'm gonna start an adjustment just from there. All right, I'm gonna go on to the second target over on the right. Okay, that's a 5-shot group out of the same Ruger Precision rifle with the same Federal Power Shock ammo that I was shooting 2 or 3 days ago at 2.4 inch groups. That appears to be about a 3/4 inch group. But now I'm gonna go back to the target on the left and I'm gonna aim for the head to separate my shots from those siders. Oh no, I pulled that one. I forgot to hit record on the target camera, so we're still able to see it through the trigger cam, but I'll also add a screenshot of the targets. Okay, so you shot 2 corners of a 1-inch square. That should be a 1 1/4 inch group. Take away the .308. Real close to an MOA group on that second shot, on that second group. So I bet you're wondering, what the hell? Fucking clean your rifles, people. I thought that I had cleaned these a couple months ago, but I think it was the other Savage and the other Ruger. And I've probably put maybe 200 rounds through this rifle since last time I cleaned it. Thank you, Gary at Paramount Tactical. Watched the video of his yesterday, and he said the first thing you do when you're chasing accuracy is clean your barrel. Copper fouling apparently has a large impact on accuracy. So at this point, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna clean the Ruger. I'll come back out in a couple of weeks when I have more time off, and I'll shoot a side-by-side comparison again. So if you have an accurate rifle that's opening up groups, the first thing I would do is check to make sure that everything on the gun is still tight, your scope, your mount, your rings, your buttstock, all that kind of stuff, and then go home and run some cleaner down your barrel. Folks, if you stuck around till the end and helped me figure out what's wrong with... Hey guy, I'm filming over here. Hey folks, if you stuck around till the end and helped me figure out what's wrong with the scope, I greatly appreciate all the time that you put into this. All the diagnostics I ran the other day on fitting the rifle to you, all valid stuff. So do that before you go shoot. And then when you're done shooting, clean your rifle every 100 rounds or so. 200 rounds is probably a little too far. Once again, you've all been a great audience. I truly appreciate you all, preppers and procrastinators. I'll see you on the next video.